Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia, and of course in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to crochet this burlesque or crop top, however you want to call it. But this is what we're going to be working on here. It's something that I'm really excited to do and I really like it. I love the color that I chose to be able to do this project in. And as you can see here, what I decided to do was I did one in blue as well. And the only difference is I just made this part of the cup a little bit bigger in this color. And I also extended the number of rows here as well. So this one is a little bit bigger in size in general compared to the one in blue, as you can see here. And again, as you can see here, it's absolutely beautiful. I love it so much. So without any further ado, and so I can get you guys to make something this beautiful as well, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so before we get this project started, I'm going to show you all the materials that we're using for it today. And as you can see here, I have my yarn. This is Elise Diva Plus. This is made out of 100% microfiber acrylic. And this color is 526 or 525, I think, right here. And as you can see, this is probably, I will probably call it like dark orangey color. And this skein here is 100 grams for this bundle here, okay? And for this burlesque that we're making, this is gonna be enough for it, okay? All right, so for a hook size, I'm going to be using a 4.25 millimeter crochet hook or G6. I also have my scissors here. And of course, we're going to be needing, if you don't know your size or the size of the person you're making these for, you need a tape measure to be able to determine the size, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so we're going to start by doing one of the bra cups right now. And to do so, we're going to start by doing a foundation chain. So we're going to be doing a slip knot first, just like this. Okay, and then we're going to follow by doing a chain of 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is our chain of 15 here. And now we're going to be starting our first row, which is working down this chain. And to do so, we're going to skip the first stitch here. And in the second stitch in the back, we're going to do a half double crochet. Okay, so you yarn over, you pick up the back loop of the chain, this one here. And then you yarn over, bring it back. You will have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through all 3. Okay. And then you repeat that again. You go into the next stitch and you go in the back of that chain and you do your half double crochet. And then you move on to the next stitch and you repeat this until you get to the end of the chain. Okay, so see you guys when you get there. Okay, so this is the end of the first row here. So as you can see, this is how it looks like. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and get started with the second row and you chain 1 and turn your work this way. And in the very next stitch right after the chain 1, you're going to do your half double crochet and you're going through both loops, so just like that. And then you're going to move on and move to the next stitch and do a half double crochet, and then you're going to do this until you get to the top of this chain here, or at the top of this row. So go ahead and do that. When you get to the top here, come back and I will show you what to do on top there. Okay, so I have completed my half double crochet stitches here and I have now reached the top of the work. So as you can see here, this is the top and I've done 1 half double crochet there, and I'm going to do 1 more to make it 2, and then I'll chain 1 and then do 2 more in that exact same spot in the middle. Okay, so we're going to start to work on the other side of this work. So now that we have done that, as you can see, we're starting to curve this way and we're going to start to work on this left hand side. And to do that, after you've done your 4 half double crochets here with the chain 1 in between, you're going to move on to the next stitch on this side and do your next half double crochet in the next stitch. This side is going to be a little bit tough to go through because it's the side that has the, it's where you started your foundation chain, so you're pretty much working on the other side of the chain that we had started with. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and do your half double crochets on this other side until you get to the end here. And so go ahead and do that. When you have reached here, come back and I'll show you how to start the next row. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I've gone ahead and completed going around here. So as you can see, this is my final stitch on this side here. So we're going to start working back this way, and we're going to start to loop our work this way, and we're going to keep going back and forth until we have what we need. So to start the next row, I'm going to chain one and turn, and again in the next stitch right after the chain one, I'm going to go through both loops and do a half double crochet, and then move on to the next stitch and do a half double crochet. And I'm going to do this again until I get to the center of this. So go ahead and work your work until right about here, just the stitches right before the center, and then come back and I will show you how to work into the center, and then bringing your work back around to the other side. Okay, my lovelies, so I have reached the top here. I have one more stitch to do right here before we go into the center of the top to do the 4. So I'm going to do my half double crochet there, and then right into the center here. So this is where we did our chain one right here. We're going to do 2 half double crochets into this space. So that's the first one there, second one, and then I'm going to chain 1 and do 2 more into that gap, and this is going to create the corner here to make our cup a triangle shape, almost like a triangle shape. Okay, so that's the top here, and then I'm going to move on and just do my regular half double crochets on each stitch, into each stitch all the way to the bottom of the cup here, and then we're going to repeat that until we have the size that we're looking for. Okay, so again, if you put it down, this is kind of how it looks like. It's just kind of keep working itself like this. So I'm going to do a total of 8 rows, then I'll be back. Do however many rows you require based on full coverage or less coverage that you want for your cup. Okay, when you have that size, come back and we'll show you how to move on to the next step. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my 8 rows for the cup here. So as you can see, this is pretty much how it looks like so far, and so this is pretty much a good coverage for me, but we're also going to do a couple of more rows here of a little bit of a nice looking design so that it's a good looking one, but otherwise this would be what would have what would be for my full coverage here. Okay, all right, so now that I have my full coverage, we're going to be adding the about 2 more rows or 3 more rows, and then we will be doing the second one. Okay, all right, so to go ahead and get started with the next row, I'm going to do a chain of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to turn my work this way, and then I'm going to skip this stitch right here, and in the next one I'm going to do a double crochet stitch. So skip this, and in the next one here I will do a double crochet stitch just like that. Okay, so this chain 4 is 3 chains counts as a double crochet, and then there's a chain 1 in between. Okay, and then I'm going to do a chain 1 here, and then skip this stitch. In the next stitch I'm going to do a double crochet just like that, and then chain 1, skip this stitch, in the next one do a double crochet. Okay, and we're going to continue alternating this all the way to the top here. So go ahead and work until you're about to reach the middle of our work right here, and when you're there, come back and I will show you what to do from there. But don't forget to skip a stitch and then do double crochet in the next stitch, and then chain 1 before you skip a stitch and do a double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, and I will see you guys when you get to the top. Okay, so I have done my double crochet stitches here with the chain 1 in between and skipping a stitch, and as you can see, that's how one side looks like. Now I am right before this one stitch, and then I have the middle here. So we're gonna do a chain 1 and then skip that one stitch there, and in the next stitch right inside the chain 1 from the previous row, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So that's 1, then do a second double crochet in the same stitch like that, chain 1, and then do 2 more double crochet stitches in the same stitch. Okay, so we're just kind of continuing what we did earlier, but except it's not half double crochet we're doing, it's double crochet. So it should look like that in that very corner on top, okay, where we have the 4 double crochets total in the same stitch, but we are doing a chain 1 between those 4 so that we have a gap in the middle of it, okay. And then we're going to continue doing what we just did here on this side as well. So I'm just gonna start like 1 or 2 there, and then I'll have you guys finish it off until you get to the end, to the bottom here. And when you get to that bottom, I will come back to show you guys what to do next, but I'll quickly show you here how to transition, okay. So after you've done your 4 double crochets there, you're going to chain 1, skip this stitch, in the next one here do your double crochet. So just kind of pretty much picking up like we did on the other side, okay. Skip a stitch, go to the next one, okay. So do this to the bottom and then come back when you've reached the end. If you have 3 stitches left at the end, come back, I'll show you how to work around that. See you guys in a bit. Okay, so I've reached the end here, and as you can see, I have 3 stitches to go. So 1, 2, and 3. And I came back to show you a workaround. If you do have 3 stitches instead of 2, you just go ahead and skip these 2 stitches. After you've done your chain 1, skip these 2 stitches and then just go into the final stitch there and do your double crochet. Okay, so that's not gonna make a big difference. You're skipping 2 here instead of 1 that you've been skipping, so that's not a big deal at all. Okay, so this is how the first row of this lacy pattern would look. Okay, and so we're going to start the second row, which is pretty much repeating what we just did here. So we'll do a chain of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then turn your work, and then on top of each of the double crochet from the previous rows, we're going to do a double crochet. Okay, so that's 1, chain 1, go right into the top of the previous double crochet stitch, do a double crochet, chain 1, go right to the next one right here and chain 1, and then continue to do this until you get to the top. Okay, when you get to the top here, you're going to do your final double crochet right here, skip this stitch, do 2 double crochets in here in this gap right here, chain 1, do 2 more, chain 1, do 1 in this on top of this double crochet here, chain 1, do 1 here, chain 1, and then you continue to do what we just did all the way to the bottom here. Okay, so go ahead and do that. When you've reached the bottom of the other side here, come back and I will show you guys how to do one more final row for the bralettes, for the cup, and then we will go ahead and create the second one exactly the same, and then we will work on the bottom part of the burlesque. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so I have completed my second row of the double crochet stitches here, and as you can see, I have 1 more stitch to go. So I'm going to show you how to finish the stitch here, and then we will move on to doing our final row of the cup, and we're going to be adding a strap as well, so we will be working the next row with the strap at the same time. Okay, so for here again, we do our chain 1 as per usual, and then we skip 1, 2 in the 3rd stitch from the bottom. We're going to do our double crochet stitch. Okay, so just like that, and then the 1 stitch that we have left here, the 4th one from the chain 4, is going to be our gap in between. So this is how you finish it off here. Okay, so that is that, and it should look like that so far. Okay, and so we're going to start the final row, and it's going to be, we're doing a chain 1 and then turning, and then right in this big gap here, we're going to do a half double crochet, just like so. And then on top of the double crochet from the previous row, we're going to do a half double crochet, and then in the big gap, we're going to do a half double crochet, and then on top of the double crochet from previous row, we're going to do a half double crochet. So as you can see here, we're pretty much doing a half double crochet in the gap on top of the, and then on top of the chain 1, on top of the double crochet from the previous row, and then a half double crochet in the big gap, and then we just continue to do this all the way. So work yourself all the way up here. When you get to this very last half double crochet stitch here before you go into the middle, come back and I will show you guys what to do in that middle, and then we will carry on and complete on the other side. but we will be doing a strap in the middle as well. And then we will finish it off, and then we will work on our second one before we work on the bottom of the burlesque. Okay, so I will see you guys when you get to this top right here. Okay, so as you can see here, I have done my half double crochet there. So we're going to do one more half double crochet, and then we're going to, or two more I think, and then we're going to do the middle part, and then we're going to work on the strap before we come back down and work on this side. And when that's done, we have our cup completed, and then we will move on to the next step. Okay, for now, as you can see, I just did my half double crochet in this gap here. So I'm gonna move on and do the next one on top of that double crochet from the previous row, and then the next one on top of the next double crochet. So this one was the last one, and then this one, and now I am in the middle, so this is the gap in the middle. So I'm going to go right into that and do 2 double crochets. So that's 1 like that, and then 2. So that's 2 double crochets in the gap in the middle. Okay, and then now we're going to work on the strap. Okay, so for the strap, you're going to work you're going to do a chain that is going to be enough to do the strap that goes around your neck. So one on this, and then one on the next bra cup, and then they will tie behind your neck. So for me, I'm going to do a chain of 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, my lovelies, so I have done a chain of 100 here. So as you can see, so this is a chain of 100, and just to make the chain a little bit thicker, we're going to be going down the chain by doing slip stitches. So just right after here, I'm going to go into the stitch right after the chain one, or the chain. I'm going to do a slip stitch, and then I'm going to go into the next stitch and do a slip stitch, and then into the next stitch and do a slip stitch, and I'm going to do this all the way down the chain until I get to the bottom here. So you're going to do your very last slip stitch right here, and then you're going to come back so I can show you how to complete the rest of the row here. But for now, just do the slip stitches down the chain, and this will make your chain a little bit thicker compared to just the little chain that we're doing here. Okay, so I will see you guys when you get to the bottom of the chain. Okay, so I have done my slip stitches going down my chain. So as you can see here, this is the length of my chain, and I've done my very final one right before the double crochet stitches that we have here. And so the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to go right into that same space there and do 2 more double crochets. So that's 1 and then 2. Okay, so just like this. So your top should look just like that. There's 2 double crochets on this side, all going into the same space, and then your chain, and then 2 more double crochets on this side. Okay, all right, now that we have that, we're going to go right into the next stitch here and do our half double crochet. Okay, just like that, and then we're moving on to the next stitch right there and do a half double crochet, and then we're going to go into the gap, the chain 1 gap from the previous row, and do a half double crochet. Then on top of the double crochet from the previous row, we're going to do a half double crochet and in the chain 1 space. And again, so now we're going to just repeat what we just did on this side here. So as you can see, just repeating this side. So you're going to do your half double crochets all the way to here. When you get to here, come back and I will show you what to do next. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the final row here of the half double crochet, and of course we have also added our strap to the burlesque. And as you can see, this is pretty much how the first cup looks like. Okay, this is the end of the first cup. And what I will do here is I will do a chain of 15, and then I will cut this off, and then we will start the second cup. And this part that I'm chaining here is going to be part of the bralettes that go behind your back, so right where these end. So if it ends right underneath your armpit, then it will stretch back towards your back, and that's where we're going to be working on the bottom part, so the bottom part here of your bralette. Okay, so I'm going to do a chain of 15, and you can do a number of chains that is going to go as close to the back as possible. So usually, let's say this is the dip of the back, like your spine. I would usually have a strap, like a top that would come up to here, leaves this gap in here open, and then we have a strap that will kind of tie in the middle there. So hopefully that makes sense to you, but for now I'm going to do the chain of 15 here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. And then I will just cut this yarn off here, and I'll get started with the second cup. So this is my first one here, so just put this away and then repeat the exact same project here and create the second cup. When you have your 2 cups, come back. You don't have to do the chain here. You can wait until we come back, or you can just do, when you come into the when you finish your second cup, you can also do 15 chains on the other side, and then we can start working on the project that way. But for now, just duplicate these exactly the same way, and then I will show you guys how to create the bottom part of your burlesque when you come back. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my second cup as well. So as you can see here, this is the second one. I have done my 15 chains and I have not cut off the yarn here. In the previous one that we did, the one we did previously, I did do the 15 chains and cut it off. So now we have our 2 cups here. Another way to make sure that they're exactly the same is if you put them against each other like that. They should line up exactly equal on all sides. And then of course you have your strap as well. That should be exactly even here as well. And this is about 100 chains each. Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to the next part of this burlesque. So as you can see, we have these 15 chains on this side. Just to line up your work, you're going to be putting them together like this, because you do need this chain on this side, and then the other chain 15 that we started the project, that we stopped the project with right now, is on this side. And so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be working, coming down this chain here, and I'm going to be going through all the bottom here, joining these 2 sides, and then going all the way to the end of this chain. And so we're going to be creating a bottom part of our burlesque here. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this to the side here for now, and I'm going to show you guys how to start working on this part of the work, and then we will join the second couple when we get there. But for now, we're going to be working on this, and I would like to show you guys how to work along the bottom of the burlesque here. Let me just zoom it in here or out so you can see properly. There you go. Okay, so make sure you're holding your chain. Make sure it's not twisted when you're working on it. Make sure it's like this. And then you will take your hook here, and you're going to skip the first one here, and this second one here, you're going to go through it and do half double crochet. And you can either do it like this, or you can go in the back of the chain. I've decided I'm just going to go through the first the front loop here, and we're just going to do half double crochet stitches all the way towards the center of your cup. And then when we get there, we're going to be able to go through the bottom of the cup here as well. Okay, so I'll just show you here quickly. So now we're here, we have one more to do right here. I'm just gonna go into that stitch and do one more half double crochet there, and then we're just going to go right into this space here and do a half double crochet there. Okay, then you're gonna move on to this space here and do a half double crochet. Then you have these 2 gaps here. So what I do is I do 2 half double crochet in each of these gaps. Then I'm going to skip over to this side and do 2. So I do 2 and then skip this section here and go and do 2 on the other side. And then we go ahead and just kind of place them as close to each other as you can without putting it in the same stitch, but also not too far apart that they're gappy. Okay, so go ahead, as you can see here, this is what it should look like. Go ahead and continue to do this all the way to here, When you get to here, come back. I will show you how to connect it to the second bra cup, and then I will have you finish the whole thing off before we start the next row together. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the final half double crochet on this side of this bra cup. So as you can see, this is how it looks like. So now I have placed the second cup like this, so that the side that has the chain 15 is away from me, like this on the left hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and then go and do my half double crochet, connecting these two sides to each other like this. Okay, so just like that, and you can pull to make sure it's tight, and then you just go ahead and move on to the next stitch and continue doing your half double crochets on this other side of the cup. So we have this space where we do 2, so 1 and 2, and then we will move on to the other side and do 2, and then we will continue to do this all the way to the other side. Okay, so I have gone ahead and worked my half double crochets in the bottom here, as you can see, and I went all the way to the other side of the chain. So far this is how your bralette looks like. Well, this is upside down right now, but this is how it's joined together. So we're pretty much going to repeat what we did on this section here now. Okay, so the next row that we're doing, or the next 2 rows we're doing, are these rows that we did here. So which means we do a chain of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we turn our work. Okay, we just flip our work, and then we skip a stitch. Okay, we skip this stitch. In the next one here, we do a double crochet stitch. Okay, right here, double crochet, and we chain 1, and we skip this stitch, and in the next one we do a double crochet stitch, chain 1, we skip this stitch, and in the next one we do a double crochet stitch. And again, you continue to do this until you get to here. It will be just a tiny bit different here, because if you cannot work in the middle here. So just work until you have maybe 1 or 2 stitches before you hit the middle, and then come back, and I will show you what to do that is a little bit different there. And then I will let you finish to the other side. Okay, so I have reached the middle here. So as you can see, I did my last double crochet there, and then I will do a chain 1, skip this, and right in the corner here there's 1 stitch. So right here we do chain 1, and right here we do double crochet. Okay, because we're skipping the stitch in here. Then we're going to do a chain 1, and then skip over and this stitch and go into this stitch here and do a double crochet there. And then you just continue to work as normal, where you go and do your double crochet, skipping a stitch and doing a chain 1 between your double crochet stitches. So something like this. Okay, so continue to do this until you get to this end here. And remember, if you have 3 stitches left at the end, remember what we did with these rows here. If you have 3 stitches left at the end, just skip 2 and then do your double crochet in the last one. And then what you will do is you will chain 4 again and repeat what we did here. So you will just work these double crochet stitches on top of the existing double crochet stitches here. Don't forget to do a chain 1 in between, and don't forget to do to skip a stitch. And then when you finish that row, you're going to do a row of the half double crochet stitches. So you chain 1, you turn your work, and then on every single stitch you do the half double crochet stitches. So, and then you repeat. So you will do 2 rows of the double crochet stitches, and then 1 row of the half double crochet stitches, and then 2 rows of the double crochet stitches, and you continue to do that until you get the length of the top that you want. I'm going to do probably about, so this is our first row here, this is our second, third. I'm probably going to do about 6 or 7 or so, and then come back to show you guys how it looks like. But you work as many rows of this as you want, however long you want it to be. And I will do the same when we have attained the length. We come back and we will look at the work together, and that will pretty much be almost the end of the project. We will do a strap, however, the strap that is for the back. So that I will not show it to you guys on camera, because it's exactly the same thing we did here. You just do a chain of as many as you want, depending on how long you want your chain to be. and then work down your chain by doing slip stitches like we did this to create a strap like this that will tie the two sides together for your strap. Okay, so just to give you an example, I'm probably going to do a chain of 200, and then I will work down the chain of 200 by doing the slip stitches. And keep in mind, it's not connected to anything, you're just doing a chain that is completely separate. So after you have done all of these here, we're going to cut it off. And first of all, I'm going to come back to show you guys how it looks like. We're going to cut it off and then we will do our chain, but I will be doing my chain off camera, so just to cut the length of the video a little bit shorter. Okay, all right, I will see you guys when you have completed building the bottom of your burlesque. Okay, my lovelies, so I've gone ahead and completed about 10 rows total here of this part of my burlesque. So the first row we did of the half double crochet is the first one, and then I have 8 more, and then I finish it off with a row of the half double crochet stitch here. Okay, so this is the length that I would like. You may have done it a little bit shorter if you wanted to, or you could do it even longer if you wanted to do it longer. Okay, so I also went ahead and did the strap just as I mentioned previously, to go ahead and do a long strap that will tie this part in the back of your bag. And as you can see, I have my strap here is pretty long. I did about 250 chains, and then I went down the chain and did the slip stitch to get it a little bit thicker like this. So then all I would need to do is just weave it in, or put it into each side of my project here, each side of my top. So just like that. So I'll do it like this here, and on this side I will come in from the outside as well and do the same thing. And you just find a space to do it. Make sure you do it as on top of the first gap here, or the space that has the half double crochet stitches. Make sure the first one goes up there, and make sure you're lining it up very nicely, and both sides have equal amount of strap. And then you just pretty much go, so here I will bring it in to the inside like this, and we'll bring it to the inside like this. And then you just go from one side to the other. So from this side we can go and bring it in to this gap here, and then from this side you bring it in to this gap here. The strap is gonna be, you do the strap the way you like to do it, so this is not something that you have to do exactly like I am. If you want to do a strap in different way, you can. I'm just showing you how I am doing it for mine. So like that, and here you go in here, and then for the last one here I will go into this gap, or you can go into the last part of the project here, which is the half double crochet stitch, but I will leave mine here like this. So that's pretty much going to be how the strap goes on in the back. Okay, something like this. And then these are the straps that tie behind your neck. And that's pretty much it. So this is the end of the project here. If you look at the front side, this is the front side here. And it looks really nice. I love this color. I think my skin tone goes really well with it. So yeah, I'm excited for this one here, to be able to wear this one here. But I hope you guys are excited to do yours as well, and hopefully you did yours in colors that you like. But for now, I'm gonna leave you guys here. Like I said, I may do bikini bottom that will have something similar to this in the same color, so that I can have something to wear, or shorts actually. It could be bikini bottom, it could be shorts, to be able to wear with this when I go out in the summer to the river or to the sea and things like that. Okay, well, thank you so much, you guys, for watching the video to the end, and I hope you guys had fun. I surely did. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and also ask any questions in the comment section below. Okay, thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.